So we are here in Reedley at the River City Theater Company, and they perform at the historic Reedley Opera House. It is a beautiful building, a historic landmark. It's a great place to see a show. It's a really small space, only about 90 people can fit in there, and we're going to go inside right now and see what they're doing. So we're here today at the Reedley Opera House, a beautiful performance venue that I'm always telling people they have to go check out. And we're here today with Jonathan Wheeler and Camille Gaston, and they are the leading roles in the new production of MEMPHIS, which is a production of the River City Theater Company in Reedley. Thank you for taking time out of your busy rehearsal schedule to be here.
Thanks for taking the drive.
So Jonathan, tell us, what is it like to perform in this space?
It's quite intimate. You get to see all the fun faces that people make. The nice thing is you can instantly tell if someone's enjoying your performance or not because there's not a lot of distance to hide it.
You're pretty close.
Yeah.
So the theater only seats about 90 people, and there's about 21 in the cast, so that's a pretty good ratio there.
Yeah, it's cool to have the balcony up there too, and to see the people up there and all fun different levels.
Well, you can also imagine those opera singers who used to come through 100 years ago, up there on that very same stage, entertaining the good folks of Reedley. So MEMPHIS the musical is a local premiere for the Valley. I know that the touring production came through a couple years ago to Fresno, but this is the first local production. Tell us a little bit about why that's important, Camille.
Well, it won Best Musical in 2010.
Best Musical Tony Award.
So it's a great show, and I like to call it the grittier version of Hairspray. It kind of reminds me of that. It kind of deals with racial issues in the South. So I think it's an important story to tell. I mean, we're still kind of dealing with things like that now in our country. And so, that's why I think it's an important show to do here in the Valley.
And it's a tough show to put on. It's a big cast.
It is, yeah.
And you have to, and it's some pretty tough music. Now tell us about the musical style, Jonathan.
It's quite demanding. A lot of rhythm and blues, and in some cases we have a lot of vocal freedom, getting to move around. But even the music, the way that it was written, is actually quite fluid. They have them going all over the place. So yeah, it's got a lot of powerhouse, and then it's got some real tender moments, which is really nice. Especially in a space this small, you can actually really bring it down and people can still hear you, which is wonderful.
So just to give us a feel for the show, tell us a little bit about what's going on. You play a character named Huey.
Yeah, so I play a character named Huey Calhoun. Happens to be walking by this bar, hears somebody singing, pops his head in, instantly has his little crush going on, hearing this girl sing, and then spends the rest of the time trying to get at her in the first couple scenes, doing everything he can to get her attention.
Which is against the law because I'm black.
Because we're talking about, this is the early 1950s.
White. Yes, very, it's not good in Memphis.
And he becomes so love-struck, he doesn't even care about the laws. He's got one focus, and that's, he just wants to be happy. He wants people around him to be happy. And he believes that music is the one connection to bring people together that nothing else really does, as well as music does.
So this is a musical, but it's also a kind of a play about music because you're singers. Tell us about that. So are you both aspiring singers?
I'm an aspiring DJ.
DJ, okay.
Yeah.
And
Felicia
wants to hit it big.
An aspiring singer, yeah. So she starts off in this little nightclub that's owned by her brother, and at first I think she thinks that that's where she's limited in singing in Memphis, but she actually dreams of being bigger than that. But she feels as though she has those limitations because she's colored or black. So Huey comes along and kind of makes that more of a possibility. He's the one that gives her the opportunity to be played on the radio that white people listen to. So, yeah.
So it's definitely, you're talking about that kind of crossover era in which music sort of started blending and in a way really was able to affect social change in itself. This is a show then, if you're a fan of rock and roll, particularly early rock and roll, there's a lot of appeal
Yeah, absolutely.
for the audience.
Absolutely. It's a lot of fun to dance to too.
Yeah.
Energetic, lots of singing, lots of dancing. Memphis came out about 10 years ago. Do you think that it's as relevant today or maybe even more relevant than it came out? We're kind of celebrating that 10-year mark.
It's probably more relevant.
More relevant?
Yeah.
Sadly. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of racial tension going on now. I mean, a lot of things have come up that people have had to deal with. And we would think that this, what was it, almost 70 years ago? The
Right,
60,
where the play is set.
Yeah, so, and we're still kind of dealing with, I mean, it's not separated. It's not, we have separate fountains anymore, but still there's that, our racism is a lot subtle now, which still, it's a little bit, I don't know, that's a little bit more scarier to me than the overt racism. But I mean, it's something that we have to talk about it. We have to make it known that it's still a thing.
And there's a theme here in terms of music being able to kind of unify in terms and heal.
Yeah.
Bring people together, express love for each other.
So Camille, I know that when you saw this show for the first time, you thought to yourself, I want to play Felicia someday. Is that the case?
Yeah, it's kind of been a dream role of mine.
So when you saw that Reedley was doing it,
yeah, I said, hell yeah, I want to do it. I think those are my exact words.
sounds good. And how about you, Jonathan?
I said if Camille's in, I'm in.
All right.
Yeah.
Make a pitch for people to come to Reedley to see the show.
Oh, man. All right, elevator pitch. Let's see. Great music, great vocals, fantastic love story, great exposure of love conquering hate, and yeah, that's as fast as I can go on that. I think
Anything
that's
to
the
add?
Points.
Jonathan's great in it.
It won the Tony,
Awesome.
so you can.
It won
Yeah.
the Tony, Best Musical, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really good story.
Yeah.
It'll make you
Bring tissues.
feel, it'll give you the feels. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much. I'm really looking forward to it. It'll
Yeah,
be fun to
thank
see
you.
it. When can people see it?
Oh. We open
We open on the 6th.
July 6th
Yeah.
through July 29th. So all weekends in July we'll be here.
If you're interested in learning more about Memphis the Musical, visit ReedleyRiverCityTheater.org.